go.
How y'all doing? Good.
Koby, hi. Well, you love the Twin Cities Sports. Nice to meet you. I just want to talk about your own development this season. I mean, you've been kind of sharing between the G League and the NBA. You're kind of around both coaches in both leagues. Just speak to how they've helped you in your development and how you feel you've done this season so far.
Yeah, I think it's been great, especially just for my own development. I think even as a team, we've taken steps forward, but, it's all about each individual and kind of just trying to get better, from when we first get here to now at the end of the year. And for me, that's been the main focus, is trying to make sure that I work on my craft and that, I know that these guys are, just pushing me to do the right things, and they watch a lot of film with me, breaking down the game, trying to help me out. And, the plan is pretty consistent on both sides, so I think it helps out a lot. Just knowing that anytime I'm up with the Suns, they want me to keep doing the stuff that I'm doing down here. So.
Well, how intentional have you been about your playmaking group? I mean, obviously tonight had some good passes, but then, I guess last week, in the Kids Day game, that you had a lot of good reads. Remember, cutters were cutting the backdoor baseline. How intentional have you been at?
Yeah, I think that's just the next step. It's part of understanding the gravity that we're getting from the other team. And every game, I feel how everybody just doesn't want me to shoot the ball. So once you do the big step up, you got to be able to make that read. And anytime you feel some help, just make that read. So I think just getting the reps down here has made it a lot easier for me to see those things. And also watching through film and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely been helping out a lot.
So you feel like the accountability that, like you mentioned, the Valley Suns have, the things that the Suns are doing and what they were asking from you in particular is helping kind of give you clarity on what it is they want from you and how to get to what's going to be in those next levels?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they give me a lot of feedback after the games, what I did right, what I got to keep working on. And as a player, that's all you want. You want to know what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. So I think I've been getting some good feedback. There's still obviously a lot to work on. But, as a player, that's exciting. That's what you want. You want to keep getting better. So for me, seeing how this year started for me to where it's at now, I'm really happy with it. And I know the sky's the limit, and we're going to keep getting better.
And before you ask your question, I'm going to let the Zamboni go, and then I will let you answer. And then when you're done, we'll have one more, and then because of the noise, not because I don't like y'all.
I was going to ask, so obviously CJ got the contract coming out today. He's spent a lot of time playing with some two-player actions. How have you seen his kind of on-court impact going from what it was to some of these to now?
I'm so happy for him, first of all, because obviously it's not easy what he had to go through this year. Being waived early in the beginning of your first rookie year, first year as a pro, and to just continue to work and not show any bad body language or anything, and then come back and get his opportunities again. I think it's great for him, but I think, like you said, just me being with him basically every single day, just talking to him and playing with him. We've kind of built a connection and a bond, and I think it translates on the court. I feel like our two-man game is pretty good, and we kind of understand each other. We can read each other at times. And it's good playing with somebody like him that's so athletic. It puts a lot of pressure on the rim because anytime I see the big come up on our ball screens, it's easy to just throw it over the top and he's gonna duck it every time. So it's fun playing with him.
One more.
What have you seen from just the amount of support from each pillar of the organization, whether it's Mercury, Valley, or Phoenix, just how they all support one another like tonight?
Yeah, I think it's dope, especially doing this whole Mercury night thing. I think it's really cool. Since I first got here and I started going to the Mercury games, you could automatically see how kind of feels like a big family. It's like 3 teams, but they're all connected in some way. And just receiving support from our Phoenix Suns players coming down to the G League games, and their players as well, Mercury coming down, and we're going to their games. It's just one big triangle. And I think it makes it fun. It makes it fun every time we see each other. It's familiar faces, and we just want to support each other.
Thanks, friends.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.